Hi guys, I'm Kristen. Welcome back to my channel. No tea today, but I'm in my comfy chair and I'm ready to talk about all of the books that I plan to read before the end of the year. I haven't really been making TBRs for the past few months, and that's because I am really a mood reader and I was starting to find them really constricting. But I thought with sort of like looking forward between now and the end of the year, it might be nice to go into it with a little bit more of a plan. There are sort of specific books that I want to read in December for various reasons. I want to be able to make some of the end of the year video content and like wrap up sort of lists and things like that and have them coming out over sort of the end of December and maybe like very early into January. And then I also wanted to use December as a time to do a lot of rereads, books that I've been wanting to reread for a while, or also books that I want to reread for specific videos that I want to make. I don't think that I will necessarily get to all of these. This is sort of just like a list of books from which I will be picking. I'm going to try not to read too much off of this list. And so I think that's why I'm going more with like TBR than one of my more usual radar reads videos. You will also notice that there is a theme with certain authors, and that has to do with the videos that I would like to make. So we'll start off with books from the author Guy Gavriel Kay. Most of Guy Gavriel Kay books I have read many, many times, but there are a couple that I've only read once. And that includes The Last Light of the Sun, as well as Tigana. Tigana is quite popular within the book community. It is generally the fantasy book of Guy Gavriel Kay's that fantasy readers read. It's also the one that is kind of the most fantasy heavy, whereas a lot of his other works tend to be more very fantasy light, if at all, and more historical. I won't tell you too much about what they are about. This one is set in sort of a world inspired by Italian city-states, whereas The Last Light of the Sun is a Viking-inspired story that is like the Norse and Danish Vikings going to, I think, like the Orkney Isles, basically like northern UK, and I think it has to do with the Viking establishments there. But both of these books I've actually only read one time. This one, even despite the fact that it's the most popular, I just remember like sobbing my eyes out and being like, I never want to read this level of amount of pain before, but I'm gonna do it. The other Guy Gavriel Kay book that I might read is A Song for Arbonne, and that's just because I've been wanting to reread this one for a while. It's one of my favorite books, but it's not necessarily a top priority for the video that I want to make because I feel like I can actually pretty easily talk about this book. Whereas other ones that I might read would also be Under Heaven, which I have read a couple times, but it's been a while. And I would also maybe read The Lines of Al-Rassan, which is one of my favorite ones, but it's been a while. I don't know. Those are all like thick, chunky, emotional books, so I probably won't get to all of them. But the Tigana and Last Light of the Sun are sort of the priorities here for Guy Gavriel Kay. Another author that I'm going to be doing a bunch of rereading for is Juliette Marillier. There are actually two books by Juliette Marillier that are going to be new to me, but that I'd really like to read, and that is A Song of Flight, which is the third and final book in the Warrior Bards trilogy. It just came out towards the end of September, so I'd like to finish up that series. And then there's also Wildwood Dancing, which is one of Juliette Marillier's young adult novels that I haven't read before. This one also is a duology, and its sequel is called Sybil's Secret, I believe. That one's not as much of a priority, but if, I finish Wildwood Dancing and really, really want to find out what happens next, then I'll read Sybil's Secret as well. There are some rereads for Juliette Marillier that I would like to accomplish before the end of the year as well, and these are books that I do really like, but I haven't read them in a really long time, and I sort of want to jog my memory on what the vibe and themes are, and that is The Dark Mirror and maybe Dreamer's Pool. A couple other rereads that I might be getting to before the end of the year are The Assassin's Apprentice by Robin Hobb. I am doing a buddy read of The Realm of the Elderlings with Maria from the channel Tea Books Magic, and we are just finishing up, or like we're in the middle of, or over halfway on the last book in the Live Ship Traders series right now, and we are on the fence as to whether or not we will read Assassin's Apprentice in December or if we might wait until January. A reread that I am definitely going to be getting to quite soon, it's probably the next book that I'm going to be reading, and that is The Mask of Mirrors, which I have been waiting to reread basically since I finished this book in May, and I want to reread it and then immediately read one of the new releases that I'm going to be reading in December, which is The Liar's Knot, that comes out on, I think, December 9th. I have actually pre-ordered this book because it was the gift that I won for winning the book cover challenge that I completed a while back. As a prize, a self-prize that I'm going to gift myself if I win, I'm going to allow myself to pre-order The Liar's Knot. You guys know I've been waiting for this book forever.
I'm excited too. And the cover is bro vibes. So there's a single figure. He looks like a shaman type. There's some flames on there just to give it even more of a, it looks like he's conjuring flames in his hand.
Oh, something about children of fire.
Yay!
Oh, that's it. So this is sort of the last new release that I'm going to be reading for the year. And I'm going to be reading that basically as soon as I get it. But I want to reread The Mask of Mirrors first. My fantasy book club is going to be reading the book Guards by Terry Pratchett in December. So I'm going to be picking up that book for the first time. I have started it before, but I didn't get very far. And this will actually be my first ever Terry Pratchett book and Discworld book. So I am very excited. I know that Guards is quite a popular one. It even has a phrase or a sentence, a line that is my friend Taylor's favorite line from a book ever. So I can't wait to read that in situ. I have also been thinking about reading A Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens in the Christmas season or holiday season for a while now. I kind of thought of it last year as well, but I didn't get to it. So I have been talking to my partner, and I think that we're going to read A Christmas Carol together sort of over the month of December. It's obviously a story that I know like how it ends. I have consumed a lot of Christmas Carol content in various forms since childhood, but I haven't actually ever read the story, and I don't remember from the various things that I've seen, like all of the specifics of his past. So I'm looking forward to getting to that. It's something that's very different from what I have been reading a lot lately. So I'm kind of looking forward to that like different level of like a palate cleanser in the form of a classic, I guess. Another new to me book that I will probably be getting to at some point over the Christmas is In a Holidays by Christina Lauren. This is a Groundhog Day inspired Christmas romance novel. It came out last year, either like fall or Christmas, and I think everyone read it last Christmas, but I didn't really discover my love for romance books until post-Christmas last year. So I haven't read it all year because I thought it would be a great book to actually read during the holiday season. So when I'm in the mood, as I'm sure that at some point between now and the end of the year, I will be for romance, I'm going to prioritize reading this book rather than just like some random book that's recommended to me on Scribd based on my last romance books that I didn't really enjoy. And then the final book that I'm hoping to get to before the end of the year is Archangel by Sharon Shin. And this is a book that I'm borrowing from a friend. She's loaned me this a while ago, so I'd really like to get to this as soon as possible for the end of the year so that A, I can give it back to her, and also B, chat with her about it. I don't think that I'm missing anything. It's possible that I am. Different camera angle, I'm sure, and that's because I forgot to mention that during the month of December, I'm going to be participating in the Christmas Hemisphere Games Readathon. I heard about this readathon from Kat on the channel, Stars and Embers. I will link her readathon announcement video down below so you can get all of the details and use her video to find the Google Drive and the Discord invite and everything to join in if you would like to. This readathon is sort of to remind everyone that Christmas looks and has a very different feel and vibe depending on where you live in the world. Everyone who joins is automatically either part of the Northern Hemisphere team or the Southern Hemisphere team, depending on where you live. One of the great things about this read-along is that it doesn't really pressure you to read a ton of books if that is not the type of reader or the amount of time that you have over this December. And that's because they've included a lot of prompts that are more designed to things like posting on Instagram or Book Talk or whatever it is, or even just on their Discord to help people engage more and share experiences that show the breadth of how Christmas can look and feel for you and where you live. Prompts are either Northern or Southern Hemisphere inspired. There is also 2 team book options for the Southern Hemisphere team and the Northern Hemisphere team. The prompts are sort of broad enough that I think I'm going to be able to get a decent amount of points by squeezing in the books that I'm already planning to read and finding a prompt that works for them. There are 2 specifically that I know will work and that I'm more than likely going to read. And the prompts include things like reading a comforting book, read a book where most of the action takes place in or near water, or there's also one for in or near snow. There's a prompt for a book with something light on the cover or dark on the cover. And as I mentioned, there are team reads as well as other prompts that have nothing specifically to do with reading and more about posting on your Bookstagram, Book Talk, or even just on the Discord page. The announcement video is linked below if you'd like to join. But other than that, those are all of the books that I'm going to be prioritizing finishing between now and the end of the year. Are there any books or a specific book that you really, really want to read before the end of the year for whatever reason? If so, let me know down below. Otherwise, I will see you in my next video. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you like what I do here. And if you just want to let me know that you are here or that you made it to the end of the video, put a little bit of Christmas themed, like a Santa hat or a Christmas tree emoji in the comment section. Have a great day, everyone. I'll see you next time. Bye.